So this is a surprise lesson. This is 1.0 of the mindset. Understanding your why. This is monetary gains. Why does most people want to become a homeowner? For financial reasons. It makes sense to become a homeowner. It makes sense. Monetary gains. If you, okay, let me give you some examples. These numbers, in disclaimer, these numbers are roughly off the top. I just use round numbers just for my math purposes. I'm not a math whiz in no shape, form, or fashion. So I just like to use round numbers that are easier for me to add, multiply, and divide. So if you rent a house for $1,000 a month, $1,000 a month, you're renting for $1,000 a month. In 12 months, that's $12,000. In 10 years, that's $120,000 down the drain. $120,000 down the drain. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's not down the drain. It's for a good cause. Yes, but there's always a better way to do something. There's always a better way to do something. There's always a better way. $120,000 down the drain. Now, you did get the roof over your head. You did put a roof over you and your family's head, but you didn't gain any power and control. You didn't gain any equity. You didn't gain any appreciation. You didn't build nothing. You built somebody else's future. You paid off somebody else's mortgage. You put somebody else's kid through college. Now, if that's okay with you, then I'm not pushing home ownership on nobody. I just want to educate you on the process. I just want to educate you and help you understand why people become homeowners, right? Why do people become homeowners? Monetary reasons. So you've rented this house for 10 years and spent $120,000. You be after those 10 years, you be lucky if you're ready to move out of this house, out of this rental and into another rental, you be lucky if you get your down payment back. 10 years, they're gonna find some reason, something. A clogged drain. I rented a house and I had it in mint condition. They took half my deposit because they said I didn't clean out the interior of the stove or shampoo the carpet. The carpet was clean. You weren't allowed to work. We had plastic through the apartment everywhere. You couldn't even step on the carpet. They said since I didn't shampoo it, they took half my deposit, right? So after 10 years, you've spent $120,000 down the drain. After 20 years, you spent $250,000. You wasted $250,000 because you can't get it back. You can't get it back. Now, what's the other side of that coin? What's the other side of that coin? If you own a home, you purchase a home, there are down payment assistance programs. Banks have different programs to where they help with down payment. They help cover closing costs. They help cover inspections, appraisals. They help cover everything, right? The whole kit and caboodle, depending on which bank you go through. All banks are different. Um, you want to, they call it, you want to check at least three different banks. You want to check at least three different banks. They call it process by three, checking with at least three different banks to see what their guidelines, criteria are, and parameters in order to qualify for their programs. So they have down payment assistance programs. So essentially, you won't come out of pocket for nothing for the down payment if you qualify for these programs. Now, say you buy you $100,000 house, $100,000 house. Your mortgage payment is $600 because you got A1 credit. So we'll go with $600 a month. $600 a month. Now that payment, all of that payment does not go towards your principal balance. In fact, for like the first 20 years, most of the payment, like 90% of the payment doesn't go towards your principal balance. For like the first 20 years on an amortization sheet, most of that payment does not, for the first 20 years, most of that payment does not go towards the principal balance. That's banks. That's banking one-on-one. They have to make their money. They have to make their money in order to stay in business. That's their business model. Now, you buy $100,000 house. We'll say After 10 years, so you're making $600 a payment, $600 a month payments, right? So after 10 years or after a year, that's what, 7,200. Let me pull up my calculator, get these numbers exact. Um 600 times 12. That's 7,200 times 10. That's 72,000, right? But remember, we said all of that didn't go towards your principal. So we'll say $50,000 of that, those payments for that 10 years went towards your principal, which in all actuality is probably reversed. Probably the $20,000, the $22,000 went towards your principal. But for this example, we'll say $50,000 went towards your principal. After 10 years, you've paid your mortgage down $50,000. Now, you still owe another $50,000 because the house is worth 100, right? So you've essentially built up $50,000 in equity. Because what is equity? Equity is the difference in what you owe in the house and what the house is worth. Equity is the difference in what you owe in the house and what the house is worth. So you have $50,000 in equity over the 10 years. And over this course of this 10 years, you've taken care of the house. Maybe you've done a little remodeling. Maybe you've painted a little bit. Maybe you've changed the color of the house, the color scheme. You've changed the framing of the house, the frames around the doors. You've redone the frame. You've updated a little bit, made it a little more modern, a little more sleek, right? You've added glass railings around the stairs, whatever the case may be. It's been 10 years and this is your house that you love and you're passionate about, so you've done some work on it. With that being said, in those 10 years, you've done what you call forced appreciation. You've done forced appreciation. You've done value adds to the house. You've done value adds to the house. Forced appreciation. You've done value adds to the house. So over those 10 years, instead of this house being worth $100,000, the house is now worth, let's say, $160,000. $160,000. It's now worth $160,000 because you forced the appreciation. Now, some houses depreciate, go down in value, but as long as you just take care of the house, do the bare minimum, over history shows that houses appreciate over time. So now the house is worth $160,000. You've paid down $50,000 worth of the mortgage. So that's leaving you with $110,000 of equity. You only owe $50,000 left on this $160,000 valuation house. I'm going to say that again. You only owe $50,000 left and the house is worth $160,000. So if the house is worth 160 and you have a loan out for $50,000, you've built $110,000 in equity. Equity is huge in wealth building. Equity is huge. Equity is huge in home ownership because the house appreciated over time. Is now boosted your equity stake in this house. You now own $110,000 with this equity. What can we do with equity? Why is equity so important? Because unlike when you were renting and you paid $250,000 over 20 years and it's just down the drain, you can't get that money back. With equity, you have options in order to recoup on your investment. They say when you're investing in real estate or owning a home, you're investing in this home, they saying you're putting the money in the bricks. You're putting the money in the bricks. You're not just throwing your money away, you're putting the money into the bricks, right? You're not just throwing it away. So with this $110,000 of equity, you have options. You have options in order to get your money back. Plus advance. Like if you sell this house right now, after these 10 years, it's worth $160,000, depending on what your market is doing. Like if you catch one of those COVID markets, you can sell it for 175, just rough numbers, 175. You can list it for 175, 180, right? You can sell the entire house for 175, 180. You pay off your $50,000 loan, you've just pocketed $130,000 cash. You've just pocketed $130,000 cash. That's after 10 years. Versus renting, after 10 years, you walk away with nothing. Nothing. Like I said, I'd be surprised if you get your deposit back. I'd be surprised if you get your deposit back. You walk away with nothing. Right. So you have options with this equity. You can sell the house. You can sell the house. You have other options like HELOCs, home equity lines of credit. Home equity lines of credit. And what a HELOC is a home equity line of credit. It's a line of credit on the equity you have in this house. Now all banks are different. All guidelines and parameters are different. So depending on which bank you go to, they will give you typically between 70 and 90% LTV. Typically, all banks are different again. So if you get a bank with a 90% loan LTV, which stands for loan to value ratio, if you have $100,000 in equity, they'll essentially loan you $90,000. But on a HELOC, it's a line of credit of $90,000. A line of credit of $90,000. And what is a line of credit? It's like a credit card. It's just like a credit card, but it's with the bank, and you can go withdraw the cash. They'll cut you a check for the cash. They'll cut you a check for the entire $90,000. Here, it's yours. This is a line of credit. But as soon as they cut that check, you have to start paying interest on that $90,000, whatever your interest rate may be, depending on your credit, depending on the bank you go to. Interest rates vary and fluctuate, right? So as soon as you take out that $90,000, you have to start making payments on that $90,000. You have to start making payments on that $90,000. Now, if you don't take any out, or if you only take out $2,000 of it, you're only making paying interest on that $2,000. If that makes sense, you're only paying interest on that $2,000. So that's what a line of credit is. Now you have other options like you can do a cash out refinance. You can do a cash out refi. They call it a cash out refi, meaning instead of selling the house, the banks will lend you, or the banks will just cash you out on, what was it, $110,000 of equity, depending on the loan to value ratio. They might give you $95,000. They might give you a check for $95,000. Now, this is considered a second mortgage. This is considered a second mortgage on your home. So if you do this cash out refi, or get this home equity line of credit, you're going to start, it's like you bought $160,000 house instead of this $100,000 house. It's like you bought $160,000 house instead of this $100,000 house. So now you're going to make your original payments plus the payments of whatever this new second mortgage is, right? Whatever this new second mortgage is, right? So those are just a few of the options you have when building equity, right? And with this cash that you take out, it's non-discretionary, meaning you can use it on whatever you want, whatever you want to use it for. You can use it to go and invest, buy some more real estate. You can use it to fix up your house for some more appreciation, do an addition to the house, add on, right? Add a bedroom, make a third bathroom onto the house, right? Turn your garage into a bedroom, or whatever you want to do. This money is yours, completely yours, right? These are options that you don't have when renting. That's why I'm a strong advocate in owning your home. They didn't teach us these things in high school. So I just want to do my part and move the needle forward in home ownership, make the conversation of home ownership a everyday conversation, right? We're always talking about owning homes. We're always talking about the process of home ownership. We're always talking about the strategies of home ownership, right? So yeah, That was just the lesson 1.0. Monetary reasons. Monetary reasons. You can either spend, you can take 20 years and spend $250,000 um, and walk away with nothing, or you can take 10 years and cash out on $130,000. The choice is yours, right? That's a huge reason why some people want to own a home. I'll catch you on the next lesson. Peace.